tell me your name and where you're from?
My name is Sandra and I am from Essex.
When did you get into dance?
I got into dance when I was around 7, 8 years old. I was doing sports alongside and karate, martial arts. My mum got me into dance because she didn't want me to get too fat, so she just put me in every after school club, said go and be active, and yeah, that's how I got into dance.
Okay, cool. What style of dance do you specialize in?
I would say I don't specialise in one specific style. I'd say I focus more on krump, Afro, West African dancing, and contemporary. Yeah.
Okay. How has the Newham area influenced you as a dancer, and what's your relationship with the area?
Yes. So I would always come into Newham to travel to dance training, and also I grew up a few years ago doing East London dance, which is mainly in Stratford. And yeah, I'd always pass through Newham to like travel to see family or dance training or meeting friends, and also I study in Newham at the University of East London.
What does dance mean to you as a person?
As a person, dance for me is a release. It's a way of dealing with things, dealing with my emotions, kind of getting myself back together if things are a bit scattered in my mind. Also a way to connect with other people, to inspire other people, and it's a language. Even if I can't speak the same language to other people, it's a way to connect with someone who's completely different to you. So for me, dance is definitely like a lifestyle.
What elements of dance excite you?
I think what makes me excited is when I can feel like the energy in the room, and like say in freestyle, you're just being free in the style. There's no like boundaries or no boxes. You're just being free yourself, and then you can just feel other people feeling what you're feeling as well. And yeah, just the energy back, like bouncing back and forth, and also just the process of like growing. I think watching yourself back on something and then seeing yourself like get better and actually being consistent in something. But yeah, more the freestyle aspect I really enjoy.
Can you tell me about your experience as a dancer and what's the core reason you dance?
The core reason, okay. My experience as a dancer, I'd say more choreographic shows, choreography, doing more modern, in a private dance school, doing more contemporary ballet, modern jazz, but then shifting into a whole different world when I came and studied at East London dance, and doing more urban and being in the street circles, the hip hop circles, the krump circles. So that's kind of like my experience, and also getting professional experience as well. I was in National Youth Dance Company for a year with Botus Saver. So my experience of dance is very much, I'd say, kind of getting industry tips and advice, and now it's time for me to apply it for myself, and I'm going to be in the real world very soon when I graduate. But my main focus, or the main reason why I dance, I would say, is for myself. I would say it's for myself, but I realized from that, like, other people can also learn. So I always think it's about passing down into the next generation.
You mentioned something about ballet.
Yeah.
What was that, out of curiosity, what was that transition like into like hip hop?
Yeah. I would say I never felt comfortable in ballet. Let's just say that. I was always the too big or the too whatever. So I never felt comfortable, but I definitely think I was kind of used to always being upright and always kind of having a stiff neck. So then going into hip hop, where I was forced to just bounce, I felt a bit, oh, okay, this is really different. But I liked it. It felt more comfortable, and it's weird because that's how I felt when I came to Newham. That I felt comfortable in a foreign land.
Okay.
So it was like as if I was always meant to be there, but I just turned up a bit late. Yeah.
My name is Dylan. I go by the name Korea as a music producer, and I'm from Southeast London, Catford.
When did you get into music production?
So 8 years ago, like I said, my friend literally just made fun of me one time when I was making beats on Logic, and then one time my friend was in the studio and he was like, "Oh, there's this project called FL. You should try it." And then when I tried to make music, he literally didn't teach me anything, so I had to literally make it myself. And then over the time, making and experimenting, failing, progressing, I've just been enjoying it ever since. I think it's influenced me a lot in terms of like, it's made me realize a lot of things. It makes me feel certain things. And I think it just made me like keep going. It's influenced me to just keep going, keep progressing, keep elevating, keep trying things new, and just seeing like the world in a different perspective. It will be the drums. I think like
The 808s.
yeah, the 808s, the drums. I think the thing is, if you don't have sometimes a certain rhythm or like a certain bounce to it, sometimes I'm just there like, you know, like this could be more. So when I hear like a lot of different drums, it can be African drums or other ethnic drums, I think it just excites me the most, and then that's what made me really want to be one. I think it gives me a better understanding on how people would want to move to certain music, how people want to feel. As dancers, we like to feel a certain way when we hear different types of music. Sometimes we like to be vulnerable and let things out. Sometimes we just want to have fun. So I think the influence of dance and my knowledge of having those feelings helps me to really put it into the beat. And yeah, I think it just really helps me to understand it a bit more, the musicality, the time frames, and yeah, so then when I'm making the beat and then when it's finished and then when I put it out as a product, if I see people vibing or they feel a certain way, they come back to me and tell me, yo, like this beat is like, it makes me feel sick, like bro, like this is dope, like, do you know what I'm saying? So, or whether it's like, oh, it reminds me of this, it reminds me of that, because I've had people telling me, they come back to me like, bro, this beat that you've made, it's just made me feel something. I don't know what it is, but keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, I think it's just helped me to understand like both parties, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's the feeling, but also family, you know, that from young I've always been around music.
Yeah.
Whether it's reggae, house, garage, like basically a lot of music, different wide range of music. And yeah, I just think, sorry, what's the question again?
The question was, can you tell me about your experience as a music producer and what's the core reason you actually make music?
Okay, so the core reason why I do it is because it's just mainly the feeling. I think there's nothing really much I can say really, it's just the feeling. I think when I wake up and then I have this kind of vibe or this idea, I'm just like, yeah, no, I gotta make a beat.
Yeah.
And ever since, I think the hunger just grew. And I think, yeah, I think like going back to family, I think just being around that and just like seeing other people's reactions, like, you know, when you see your your grandma just dancing and vibing, you know.
I think it's addictive. I think the entire process of like whatever type of creation that you're creating that you're really into. I think once you find that voice or you find your niche, it's almost like an unquenchable thirst.
Yeah.
And you're addicted to like the end result. So like the entire process feels like you're riding a wave.
100%.
Right? Am I right or am I right?
No, you are right, and it's just like, yeah, I think like you can tell by my face.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much I want to say, but I think it's just a lot deeper than that, you know. And I think when I make music, it is deeper.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like I wake up, I make beats, and then I put it out. Like I think there's a lot of things I want to tell. I want to tell stories. Even in this project, I like to help others tell their story through music, and then there's a lot of experiences I've put into it, so it's not like I just made the beat. I've put my heart, my soul, like if I'm feeling bad or feeling a bad vibe, I'll put it into music and try to turn it into something creative. So yeah, there's a really lot to it, and I think that's what drives me. I think it's the feeling and the emotion and what it makes me feel. And I think it's just like the connection, you know, like music gives to me and I give it back, you know?
Yeah.
So I think feeling is mainly the thing that drives me.
Tomorrow Weeks. I was born in Reading and I was there until I was 19, and I moved to East London 2 years ago.
When did you get into dance?
I started when I was around 8 or 9. I was at a local dance studio in Reading. I started off doing cheerleading, but I thought that wasn't for me. So I moved to the street dance class, and ever since, I've been dancing since then.
Tell me about the cheerleading. Whoa.
So I started classes because I was very shy. As a kid, I wouldn't talk to anybody, I wouldn't make eye contact, anything. So my mum put me in a class to try and make me communicate more. And through the cheerleading class, it did work up more courage to talk to people for me. But I just didn't enjoy it as much, and they had loads of different classes in the studio, so I thought I'd try a street dance class.
What style of dance do you specialize in, if you have a category?
Mainly hip hop, because that's what I've started doing since I was young. But until about 5 years ago, I trained in contemporary. I started with ballet as well, salsa, Irish, a lot of international styles. So a bit of everything now.
What does dance mean to you?
For me, it's a creative outlet, I think. Not dance, just within the whole arts industry, because it's so open. And for me, that just sparks my mind to do so many different things. You can incorporate dance into normal life, not within the dance industry as well.
What elements of dance excites you in terms of the process?
I think the freedom you have, because if you're given a stimulus for a dance, say it's water, you can go about that so many different ways. Just people have different minds, so some people take that literally, some people think more out of the box of that, and I think the freedom that you have with the whole concept of dance, it just excites me really.
What's the core reason you dance?
The reason I dance now is because it's the biggest part of my life. I've been doing that for around 13 years, so I'm just completely used to it. And yeah, I think it's just a big part of my life. I think that's just what I'm used to now.
What about the experience?
The experience has been really good for me because I've just worked up so many different ranks. I started as a shy 8-year-old, and now I'm in a completely different place from when I started and at university. So I think it's just how it's affected me to get better as a person.
My name is Stefano. I was born in Italy. I moved to East London when I was around 13, 14, and I grew up in East London till recently. I've moved out of East London. I got into dance the moment I moved to East London, so that was around 13, 14. That's the time I got into dance. The reason I got into dance was, well, I was thrown into a new country, it was a new demographic, it was a new scene, and I was kind of trying to find my footing and where I stand within this new community. So there was after school clubs at the school that I went to. One of my friends, he was an actor, his name's Kevin, he said, oh, come to this dance class with me, you know, try it, it's fun, there's something to do after school rather than stay on the roads. So that's how I got into dance. There was a teacher there. There was a few of us actually, there wasn't many of us, and from the few of us that was there, the teacher decided to make a street dance group, and then that's how the whole journey began. I wouldn't say I specialize in a specific style of dance. I feel like throughout my journey I've learned a lot of styles which have then influenced me to create my own kind of signature and what vibe I kind of go for. But the main styles that were part of my journey were hip hop, street dance and contemporary, and then throughout that journey I feel like I drew from my parents' background and where they come from in Ghana, and just jumped on that Afrobeat style and scene. Dance to me means the world. I feel like it's a very big part of who I am, and it adds to my core personality, I guess. There's so many personality traits or things that I do that I wouldn't do if dance wasn't a part of my life. I feel like we can say it's been part of majority of my life, so that's what I grew up doing. There wasn't other outlets apart from dance, and it felt like it was just school dance, and that was the life I was living, and it's been with me for a long time, and I don't feel like I want to let it go, or if it was natural to let it go. It's just something that you do now. It doesn't even feel like a profession. It still feels like a hobby when it started.
So it's just pretty much you.
It's me. Dance is me. The Newham area has influenced my dance in a very special way. I feel like there is a batch of us in East London that come from Newham, that because of our surroundings and the way we grew up, there's a different source to the way we move, you know? There's loads of cultures in Newham, loads, plenty to draw from, to get inspired from. You're not gonna walk down the road without seeing a different nationality. And I feel like there's so many influences, whether it's the Caribbean influences, whether it's the African influence, or the black British diaspora, you know, in itself. And there's so many things that have created that specific, I don't know how to describe it, but it's culture, you know, it's culture, and there's always rivalry between East London dancers, South London dancers, and North London dancers, and I feel like everyone has their own source that they strive with, and they move and express with. The elements that stand out to me in dance, they vary. I enjoy a finished product. I enjoy going on stage, performing in front of however many people, and really get to be someone else, you know, on that stage, your alter ego. Because there's certain things that you do on stage that you're not gonna do on a sidewalk with a pedestrian next to you. Who's this weirdo? What is he doing? You know, stand still, be normal. Whereas when you're on stage, it's limitless. You can be whoever you want. If you want to be a cup on stage, you can be a cup. If you want to be a chair, you can be a chair. If you want to be water, you can be water, you know? And it goes on. That's one aspect that really excites me about dance. The other one is the process, depending on what I'm doing. So I also specialize in a lot of theatre work, as well as commercial work and music videos. That's the fun side. That's when you get on stage, crowd roaring, 80,000 people, big arena, fun, yay. Whereas theatre, I feel like we focus more on substantial content, and there's serious topics that we really want to talk about, and the process of that is actually what's the best part of a theatre production. You dive deep into so many issues, I guess, and facts, and just discovering how you feel and how to make someone else feel, you know, how to convey a message. And I feel like that aspect is just, it's healing as well, and very revealing. And you think that dance would not have that, you know, it's just yeah, go dance, fun, spin on your head. Nah, there's more to it. There's the physical embodiment of stories, and whether it's frustration or even surroundings, you know, Newham itself, like there's been pieces where I've drawn my influences or my experiences that I've had in Newham, and I've put it into the dance that I'm performing on that stage, and someone can feel that and say, I felt that, you know, I can see where you came from, I can see your struggle, I can see the emotion, I can see your happiness, and everything that comes with it. My experience as a dancer has been incredible, very interesting, and very dynamic. the reason why I dance is it pays the bills. No, I'm playing. The reason why I dance, why I truly dance, is because the feeling that you get. There's not necessarily a right or wrong reason why people should get into dance. Some people may feel like that's not a really good reason to get into dance, but who are they to say that? But for me, it's the way it makes me feel and the way it makes others feel. More so me. I'm more concerned about me. I don't dance for other people, but there's those two aspects. But for me, it's like how I feel. How I feel when I'm expressing myself the way I want to with no limits. I feel like in today's society, there's not much. There's a lot that you can do that can be outside the box, and it be frowned upon rather than be accepted. And in dance, that world is limitless. There's nothing that you can't do or explore. You can be whoever you want, whatever you want, and perform however you want. And there's certain things that society doesn't really allow you to do on a just daily basis, you by yourself on the road. Dance for me allows that.